This is David Rodecker. I've got a problem with our WP Rocket or our web server altogether for WordPress. It seems to be getting hit quite a bit, and I'll demonstrate a little bit as to what's going on here. So the web server logs I found are just spewing data, and I'm just going to be looking at the successes here, and it's just now our website normally isn't really getting that much activity. So if you stop and look at this, there's a bunch of weird requests here. This is the weblog request, and notice it's got the IP address of the requester, timestamp, and it's a get to what's a CSS. But the problem is that this really isn't the CSS because well, it actually might be the CSS in this case, but they're trying to get something else here. So that actually is just anecdotal, because I think that really is returning the CSS. But in most of these cases, or in many of these cases, it's getting the, it's acting as a proxy. Here's a case of that. And it's hard to see these. I've been looking at it for a while, but in this case, it's getting the proxy. And it's working like a proxy, and I don't know why. So the payload of response was about 80K of data, and this payload is a really, or this request is a really weird looking thing. And in fact, it translates, what I found is that if you put it into Google, it actually translates, I put it in the query string, and it's foreign characters. So someone's posting foreign characters as the request to our server, which somehow is responding with 80K of data. I don't even know what data it's responding with. Is it doing like a Google search, or what's it doing? So bizarre. Well, it's going to this server, which I'm not even sure what that is, but it seems to me, though, I went about trying to eliminate and isolate, what's going on, and I found that by renaming this file, essentially killing this file, and I'll just remove it. I have a backup of it. By renaming that file, I then stop the flow of craziness. It's still coming in, but very much slower. So now all the requests are to just the CSS. There's no requests to the root that are making it through. It may just be anecdotal, but the problem with this is our site doesn't work. And that file that I just renamed is a file for WP Rocket. So I'm going to go ahead and copy it back to in place. I called it a virus, even though it's not actually a virus. This is the Rocket. So putting that back in place, and we start to get the stream of data again. So if I were to look at just the ones that have that S, note the request to the root, that might be more entertaining. So each one of these is a request, and I'll stop it for a second. The payload of data is that large. I'm still getting the CSS there. But what in the heck's going on here? Why is our server behaving like a proxy server and just getting a ton of data or a ton of responses for something else? All right, well, hopefully someone can figure this out, and we can have a web server that isn't being taken up with a bunch of requests that are unnecessary.